Hello and welcome back to Half Magic Tarot. Today's pick a card reading is, should you get back with your ex or move on to the next? So basically, is your relationship with your ex salvageable? Is it cool if you get back together? Will it work out? Or should you just cut your losses and try to improve, find a better person? So we're going to get into a little bit of your relationship with your ex and what you can expect in your love life with this person or with someone new. So I also have a video called Messages from Your Ex if you're interested in more like ex-related content. There are 4 piles to choose from. I suggest choosing the pile that sparks a memory in you. So, for example, I would choose pile 2, Queen, because the Queen on this card is wearing this headscarf that reminds me a lot of this doll that used to sit on the fireplace of my grandparents' house. I'm pretty sure it was a doll from like Saudi Arabia or something, but she had a very similar head scarf crown situation. So that is the pile that I would choose. I will put the timestamps in the description down below. Feel free to pause the video now and select your pile. And thank you for watching. Take care. If you selected pile 1, Child Divine, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the 4 of Cups in reverse, the 9 of Swords, the Magician, the High Priestess, and the Page of Cups. For your Romance Angels cards, we got Attraction and Give Your Relationship a Chance. All right, my pile ones. So, should you get back with your ex or should you move on to the next? We start off your reading with this 4 of Cups in reverse. And sometimes the 4 of Cups can indicate to me like mental health struggles, because the 4 of Cups is all about being offered something that's probably actually really wonderful and beautiful, but not being able to accept it or not being willing to accept it because you feel downtrodden, you feel jaded, you feel closed off for whatever reason. And I think the 4 of Cups in reverse is really solidifying that. It's so much so to the point of withdrawal. So this could actually be the reason why you and your ex broke up, is because either you or your ex were struggling so much with their mental health, probably like depression, that it was hard for them to even really be like an active participant in this relationship. It was like everything felt terrible, even though the relationship itself wasn't terrible. You could have been the most giving partner in the world to this person, or they could have been the most giving partner in the world to you. But it doesn't change the fact that if you are not in a place where you can accept any kind of comfort from someone, then it's just not going to work. And that's really doubled down by this 9 of Swords that's next in your spread, which is all about anxiety, depression, paranoia, insomnia. So the feeling that I'm getting from this is just absolute exhaustion. So it could be that you or your ex were also just very busy with other aspects of your life, work, school, family stuff. You had something that you or they really had to spend a lot of time taking care of, and it detracted from their ability to be fully present with you, or your ability to be fully present with them, to really work on nurturing the relationship, is what I'm hearing. And so I think this is what ultimately kind of drove you two apart. And the thing is, with the Magician in the middle of your spread, what I'm hearing is that I think a little bit of time has passed since the separation. And now you're at the point where you have all the tools to make this work. The Magician is all about manifestation. It's all about being able to take the things that you have. And this person has the charisma, the charm. They have the ability to experience joy now if you didn't before. They have the stability. They have the ability to give their heart freely and openly. They have the ability to communicate. And that's really what is necessary if you want to get back together with your ex, and I'm assuming that you do if you're watching this. But with the Magician, like I said, I do think that it is entirely possible. I think you now, or this person now, has come to a place where they are much better at handling their mental health struggles. You're much better at handling your mental health struggles. And so now you are more prepared to be in the kind of relationship that you want to be in. And the next card we have is the High Priestess, which is a card of intuition. It's a card of deep knowing. So I think you already know the answer to this question. Maybe you just wanted me to clarify it for you, but I think you know that it could work out, and maybe it's scary because you are the person that had these mental health problems and you don't want to feel like you're hurting this person or relying on them too much, or the other way around, and you don't want to be hurt by someone who you really care about, but who maybe doesn't have the capacity to be in a real relationship right now. And I think you know this. And the High Priestess also has a little bit of a feeling of withdrawal. So I do think this is something that you've thought about a lot, because probably you're still in contact with this person, your ex, and I think you really miss them. You enjoy talking to them, but you don't know logically if it's going to work or not, but I think you feel in your gut that it could. And based on this, I would say follow your gut feeling. And the last card in your spread is this Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is basically the card of offering your cup of love. It's a really cute romantic card, one of my favorite cards in the entire tarot. And this Page of Cups is extending their cup to the High Priestess, which I believe represents you. So I'm hearing that this can work, but specifically if this relationship is approached not disregarding the heavy stuff, because any real relationship, you should be able to work through heavy stuff. You should be able to work through other people's struggles, but it's not your responsibility to. It's not your partner's responsibility to. So I think one of the main takeaways from this is that if you want to get back together with your ex, you have to approach it with a sense of like playfulness and joy and like innocence and spontaneity, because if you come back and you're immediately stressing out about all this heavy stuff, it's just not going to work. You need to take it slow and just remember what it feels like to just like flirt with this person, to be with them, be present in the moment, and remember the things that drew you two together in the first place, the things that you have fun doing together is what I'm hearing. And so overall, I would say if you want to get back with your ex, I think it's entirely possible, but you do have to keep in mind that the approach to this relationship has to be a lot more lighthearted than it was before in order for it to work, and you need to take your time building back up the relationship and the trust. You can't just dive back in and have this person, try to take care of you or you take care of them. This is a relationship that required a lot of internal work from both sides in order to make it more stable, in order to make it last longer. But I am hearing that if you are watching this and for some reason you don't actually want to get back with your ex, you wanted to hear that you should move on, I'm hearing that that's an option too, because to me this is really kind of like a light yes for going back to the ex. So if you do want to move on to a new relationship with the Magician, you have all the tools to have the kind of relationship that you want. But again, you have to take it slow. You need to trust your gut when it comes to meeting people, and don't try to make everything so intense all at once. You really need to just figure out if you like someone or not. Figure out if you enjoy being around them. And all of this is doubled down by your first Romance Angels card, which says attraction. It says you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. So like I said, in order for this to work, in order for the relationship with your ex to work, or in order for a new relationship to work, you have to be able to really be present in the moment and not worry about all this other stuff, not worry, can they handle my mental stuff? Can I handle theirs? What about all of this other stuff that's stressing me out? You need to think about, do I like this person? Do I enjoy being around them? Do I feel happier when I'm around them? Is my life easier when I'm with them? And just be able to really enjoy the moment and enjoy the connection, because reminding yourself of that and being able to be present in that is going to be the thing that strengthens the bond with any romantic partner. And your second Romance Angels card says, give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. So again, if you want to get back with your ex, and I'm assuming that you do, you absolutely can. I think it would work, but it is something that you would have to work on from both sides. It's not something that is going to be easy necessarily, but it is completely doable because I think that both you and your partner have grown a lot since the initial separation and now are at a place where you are more willing to be open and lighthearted. And all of this is really reflected in the pile marker that you chose that says Child Divine, which says innocence, purity, and redemption. Suggests a special connection with the divine. And what did I say about the Page of Cups? This is a card that has kind of an innocent, pure take on love and romance. So all of this, the attraction card, all of this is coming through so strongly that if you want to get back with your ex, you have to take it lightly. You have to just enjoy the moment. You can't put too high of expectations. You can't try to rush into things. You have to take it one step at a time and be present, and don't let all of your anxieties, all of your worry, your fears about whether or not this person will hurt you, whether or not you will hurt this person, you have to put those aside and just enjoy it for what it is, because no one can predict the way that their relationship will play out. Well, I guess you can through tarot, but we all have free will. We all have free choices. So you can do anything at any time that can change how your person sees you, how you feel about your person. Things change all the time. The way that things turn out isn't set in stone. So overall, you can't go into something thinking about how it's going to end or how it's going to be painful or how it's going to hurt you, because the real juice of the connection, the real meat of the connection, whatever you want to call it, is the process of getting to know each other, the process of actively choosing to pursue each other, to put in the effort, the care, the affection towards each other. And that is what is going to be crucial to you going forward into any relationship, whether that's back with your ex or with a completely new person. But like I said, I do think this is a yes for going back to the ex. And another message that I'm hearing is that some of you are like Gemini, Cancer, cusp, because we have the Magician, which represents Gemini, and the High Priestess, which represents the Moon, which is the planet of Cancer. So some of you are Gemini, Cancer, cusp, me too. And or you or your ex could be a Gemini or a Cancer, or have prominent Gemini, Cancer placements in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. And one more special message that I'm hearing is that for some of you, your initials, first or last name, or your ex's initials, first and last name, can begin with a B or J. All right, my pile ones, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 2, Queen, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the Page of Swords, the 4 of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the 3 of Wands. For your Romance Angels card, we got Deception and Worth Waiting For. All right, my pile 2, so should you get back with your ex or should you move on to the next? Let's start off with the first card in your spread, which is a Page of Swords. So what I'm hearing is that your ex is a lot more immature than you. And the reason why I'm saying that is because this page represents them, and you are this beautiful queen energy represented in your pile marker. If you know anything about the tarot, there are 4 different kinds of court cards: the page, the knights, the queens, and the kings. The page being the most immature, the least stable, the least advanced, and then the queen or king would be on top. So yeah, you have evolved beyond your need for this person. I'm just going to start off by saying that. And this person, something that I'm hearing very specifically about your relationship with them is that they talk about how they're like really forthcoming, or maybe they're one of those people that's like, I keep it real, but their way of keeping it real is by being kind of mean. Like you say that you just tell it like it is or whatever, but actually you're just being rude. So I'm hearing that they've actually said kind of mean things to you in the past, like maybe not with the full intent of hurting your feelings, but it's like there's a missing level of sensitivity here. And I'm also hearing that when you broke up, this person, because the Page of Swords is really idealistic, they really believe like they can really get attached to like their fantasy of the way things can be or something. So I'm hearing that this person thought that they would, like after your breakup, they would have it one kind of way, like maybe they would have like a bunch of flings, they'd have a bunch of like lovers, they'd have a lot of options. And the truth is they don't, because they're just not, I'm not saying they're a bad person, but they're not like a great partner. I just don't think they're a great partner. And because of that, I feel like now they're kind of wandering back to you. Like probably this person reached out to you recently, right? I had the same thing happen to me, and this is the pile that I would choose. So this person really wants to communicate with you very strongly, your ex, but they're not on your level. Even though they probably have grown up as anyone would after your breakup, I don't think that they've truly matured. I don't think if you got back with them, this relationship would be that different. And with the Four of Pentacles as the next card in your spread, I'm hearing two things. Number one, I think it took you a while to get over this relationship. This Four of Pentacles is all about really holding on to something. And if you look at the card, this person is holding on so tightly that they can't move. They're missing out on this beautiful city. They're missing out on all the opportunities behind them. And so I feel like you probably held on to this person for longer than you should have. You stayed in the relationship longer than you should have. And I do think that you have moved past that now, because we do have the Queen as your pile marker. So I do think that you've kind of gotten out of this energy of feeling like you need this person or still feeling tied to them. But the other side of this is that now I'm hearing that they feel pretty like possessive over you, despite you two not actually being together. Like they really hate the idea of you being with someone else, even though like this person, they have no claim over you anymore. It's like, if you really felt that way, you could have been nicer to me, you know? And that is also coming through in the card in the middle of your spread, which is this Five of Wands, which again ties into the immaturity thing. The Five of Wands is a card of fighting or play fighting. If you look on the card though, this says school children. These are like immature people, and the reason why they're fighting is because they're children. They don't have like the emotional maturity to talk things out, or to not be combative, or to figure out how to like express themselves or their dissatisfaction with something without like trying to hurt someone else. And that is the energy that this person is still in. They might be like, now they're in a place where they're like, oh, I'm ready to treat you right. But the truth is, this is a pattern of behavior. They might think that in their mind. They might think, well, I would like to go back to my ex and like treat them well and make the relationship work this time. But they have not changed the behavior. They've not changed the behavior. I always say this to people, that the best apology is change behavior. Because you can say, I'm sorry. You can say, you know, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings, whatever. None of that matters if the behavior isn't changed, because then it's just empty words. So I don't think that this person has really changed their behavior. And with the Five of Wands, I'm also hearing that for you, it was just like the relationship. Probably one of the things that drew you to this person was that they kind of had a joyful like spontaneity about them. Like they did have kind of like, they brought like a little bit of a spark to your life. And I think that's one of the things that drew you to them. Like maybe they come across as really charming or charismatic at first, but ultimately you realize it's because It's easy to be charming and charismatic all the time when you don't take responsibility for anything. When you don't worry about anything, when you don't worry about who you're hurting, when you're just kind of like gallivanting around. And that is where this person is still at. So ex or next, 100% no on the ex. Do not go back to your ex. Do not. Okay? I don't know if that's what you want to hear or not, but the good news is the next card in your spread is this Ace of Pentacles, and this is a card of new, stable beginnings. So the next person that will come in for you, the next that you should be going after and not your ex, is someone who will be stable and will have more maturity. They will be able to like express themselves better. They will not be as harsh with their words. They're probably a lot more sensual than your ex too, just in terms of like, I feel like they have a much more comforting presence. Like I don't really feel a lot of comfort coming from the cards that are indicating your ex to me. And with the Three of Wands at the end of your spread, I think this is something that you've wanted for a while. You've probably been thinking about how you would like to be in a relationship again, or you miss romance. And I think you have been working on improving yourself and kind of distancing yourself from this ex in question. And that's coming through, like I said, I feel like you held on too long and now you've kind of grown up a little bit. You've matured into this queen energy where you realize you don't need them, or you don't need a relationship like the one you had with your ex anymore. And that has been really beneficial into bringing in this new Ace of Pentacles offer that will come into you. But Three of Wands is a card of waiting. So I do not think that the next person is going to come in really quickly for you. And time-wise, actually, I'm hearing anywhere from like 3 months to a year, which might not be what you want, but actually 3 months to a year is not that long of a time. And I think that, like your romance angel card says, worth waiting for, divine timing is at work in your love life. So I think this Ace of Pentacles offer that will come in at the right time for you. And I think it will be worth waiting for. It will be probably the most satisfying romantic experience that you've had, much more satisfying than whatever this was with your ex. But you got to be patient for this person to come around. And the other romance angels card we had for your spread was deception, which says someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So this kind of ties back to what I said. I feel like your ex, probably if they have reached out to you or they approached you, they kind of try to frame themselves as having like grown up, or they're different now. They wouldn't be like harsh to you. They wouldn't be mean to you. They don't want to like hurt your feelings. They're more emotionally available. They want to be like nicer to you. And it's like, that might be true in their mind that they would like to be that kind of person. But the reality is that they're not. They have a mask on. They are trying to come back presenting themselves as a better version of themselves, and then if you did get back with them, as soon as you got comfortable, they would let that mask slide and they would go back into the old patterns. And that is not something you deserve, and it's not something that you want. And with your pile marker being Queen, it says radiates the regal feminine, uses her benevolent authority to protect others. So something that I'm hearing is this is part of the reason why they wanted to come back to you. They could have, if they still like follow you on social media, your ex could have seen your posts and kind of realized that you have grown up, or you just seem to have your life together in a way that they don't. And so they're like, I'm going to try to insert myself back in there. And I'm also hearing that uses her benevolent authority to protect others. I'm hearing that in your relationships, in this specific relationship with your ex and in any other romantic relationships you've had, or just your relationships in general, you have had a history of being like really generous and giving with other people and giving so much of yourself and trying to like make things work even when the other person was not putting in that same energy, or they were making it difficult, or they were just not bringing the same level of emotional availability, affection, care that you were bringing into the relationship. And I do think that now, maybe because of this relationship, you have kind of realized, I don't want to have to experience this anymore. I would like to be in a position where I still want to be giving. I want to be generous, but I only want to do it with people who are willing to offer that to me, because I am in this queen energy. I deserve to be treated well. I deserve to have people approach me with respect, and that's good on you. So overall, pile 2, extra next, absolutely next. Wait for the next. It's worth waiting for. That is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 3, Samaritan, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the Ace of Swords, the Devil, the Four of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Seven of Pentacles. All right, my pile 3s. So, should you get back with your ex or move on to your next? Let's start with the first card in your tarot spread, this Ace of Swords. So, immediately, an ace in any suit indicates a new beginning. So, right off the bat, I am hearing that you should move on to the next. And the other message that I'm picking up from this Ace of Swords is that with your ex, probably the ending felt a little sudden, or it could have been that something hurtful was said when the breakup occurred, because the Ace of Swords is kind of, it can be a symbol of like cutting something off in kind of a harsh or blunt way. You know, they say there's a double-edged sword. So I think that you really like this person, and obviously you still have some feelings for your ex if you are watching a reading like this and wondering if it would be good to get back together or not. But I do think that there's something here, something was said, something was communicated, some revelation was had at the end of this relationship that was very painful. And I think one of the reasons why you are still drawn to this person is because we have this devil energy. And the devil can be a card of obsession. So something that I'm picking up pretty strongly is that this could have been a pretty codependent relationship, or you really devoted a lot of your time to this person. Honestly, probably an unhealthy amount. You might have stopped hanging out with your friends. You might have spent less time working on the things that you needed to work on, whether that's at work, at school. Like if you're in school, maybe your grades dropped because you were spending so much time with this person. You were thinking about them so much. And I mean, I understand if you like them, but also I think any good relationship, in order to survive, has to have the space for the people in the relationship to be able to grow and take care of themselves outside of it. And I am just seeing that there was a lot of sacrifice on your end. And I don't know if your ex was giving that same level of sacrifice, if they were devoting as much of their time, as much of their energy to you as you were. Another message that I'm hearing with this devil is that for some of you, your ex had substance abuse issues. So they could have been an alcoholic, for example, and that could have really led to the demise of the relationship. And obviously addiction is an illness. It's something that can be helped, but it is, you know, if you're addicted to something, at some point it doesn't really feel like a choice anymore. So if this is the case with your ex, you probably have a lot of empathy for them. You do feel like, I know that this person is a good person and that they're struggling with this, but the struggle itself has been pretty stressful for you, and it could have contributed to the breakup. Another thing that I'm hearing is that for some of you, the reason why you want to go back to this person is because the physical attraction, cough, cough, physical attraction in this relationship was really, really strong. And you don't want to give that up, which understandable. And the reason why I say that is because paired with the devil, this romance angels card that says chemistry tells me that there's probably a lot of sexual chemistry between you and this person, and that is one of the reasons why you stayed with them. But if you look at this devil card, these people are chained up in front of the devil, and I feel like this is how you were. You were like chained to this relationship. You really secluded yourself, you attached yourself to this person in a way that, quite frankly, was just not healthy for your personal growth, for your relationships with other people. I'm also hearing that either you or your ex could be a Capricorn or have very prominent Capricorn placements in your natal chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. In the middle of your spread, we have the Four of Swords. So what I'm hearing is that you need a break from this relationship. The Four of Swords is a card of retreat. It's about taking time to be by yourself and recuperate and relax and recalibrate your mind. So I think you needed distance from this person. You need time to have the space, because I think if you're around this person all the time, if you're talking to your ex all the time, it's hard for you to have the clarity of what it feels like when you're not around them. So I think if you were still talking to them, you should try taking a break. You don't have to be mean about it. If you care about this person, just say, hey, I think I need to take like a month of just not talking to you. And it's not because I don't care about you. It's because I need to like focus on myself. And it might be difficult, but I think this is something that's coming through very strongly in this reading for me, is that you have to walk away from the connection, the obsession, the mind racing thoughts that you have about this person. You need to take a break from not just your ex, but probably romance in general, honestly. And I'm not saying it's forever. We have the Eight of Cups next in your spread, and the Eight of Cups is a card of moving on from something that you probably really enjoy, that you are satisfied by on some level, which I think is your ex, but you know that there is something else out there that is better for you. You know that this is not exactly what you deserve. You know that there's more to it, and the Eight of Cups has a feeling of like emotional pain. The Eight of Cups is also representative of Cancer, so you could be a Cancer, your ex could be a Cancer, or prominent Cancer placements in either of your natal charts, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. But the thing about Cancers is they, once they invest in something, it's really hard for them to let go. So I think you probably invested a lot of emotions and time into this ex, and that has been why it is hard for you to kind of accept that even though you really care about this person, you have a lot of chemistry with this person, it's just not working out. There's something more that you need to be truly satisfied in a relationship. You need to spend more time on yourself. You need to figure out who you are outside of this relationship. And that is going to be emotionally difficult for you. But I think ultimately the really strong message that I'm getting from this entire pile is not just you shouldn't go back to your ex, but you moving on to the next, you need to work on yourself before you get with the next, is what I'm hearing. And that's also coming through in this last card in your spread, which is the Seven of Pentacles, which is a card of working on something for a while to build it up before you start seeing results. And what I'm hearing very specifically is that you have to work on yourself. You need to work on your, if you have codependency issues, you need to work on that. You need to work on feeling like you can maintain your level of self, maintain boundaries in a relationship, because that's something that I just heard, is that you might sacrifice a lot of your boundaries for other people. And I think that once you work through those issues in whatever way, whether that's going to therapy, which I would recommend for anyone, or just taking the time to be by yourself and reevaluate exactly what you want and don't want out of a relationship, and deciding that you are not going to settle or sacrifice on certain things. But really, this is so much about growing within yourself and self-worth. And with your Romance Angels card, like I said, your first one says chemistry. It says there's a strong magnetic attraction here. And I think magnetic is such a good word for this, because I do feel like you just feel really drawn to your ex. You think about them a lot. You want to go back to them. You just feel like you had something special that maybe you haven't been able to recreate. And I don't want you to worry that it's never going to happen again, because I think it will, but I think you're not going to get the same level of chemistry, plus the stability, the emotional commitment that you want, unless you work on setting your own boundaries and figuring out how to navigate them in a new romantic relationship. And that's coming through also in your second Romance Angels card, which says, make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So again, I think that you can really have the great love that you crave, that you really want, but you have to take these steps first. You have to take a break from love, from dating. You have to take a break to work on yourself and be comfortable being alone. Because when you're comfortable being alone, you are less willing to tolerate being in a relationship that is not satisfying, or in a relationship with someone who's not treating you well, because you know that you can be happy by yourself. Your pile marker, the Archetype card, says Samaritan. It says, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. So something that I'm hearing is you, again, with the devil, I feel like there was a tendency for you to kind of ignore the other aspects of your life because you were devoting so much of your time, so much of your care to this person. And the imagery on this pile marker has people kind of like swinging on a trapeze. So it feels like you were performing for this person's attention. You were doing everything in your power to kind of keep their attention on you, to keep their interest. And because of that, you neglected your own values and probably your relationships with other people. And that is why Spirit, the universe, is really saying that you need to take a break from love. You will get the kind of love that you want, but first you have to work on yourself as a person. All right, my pile threes, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care. If you selected pile 4, Beggar, welcome to your reading. Your tarot cards are the 9 of Wands, the King of Cups, the 2 of Pentacles, the 5 of Swords, and the 7 of Cups. For your Romance Angels card, we got Free Yourself and Pay Attention to the Red Flags. So, all right, my pile 4s, should you go back to your ex or move on to the next? Let's start with the first card in your tarot spread, which is this 9 of Wands. So right off the bat, I'm hearing that this relationship with your ex left you feeling wounded. It left you feeling like you might have actually worried about this or stressed out about this relationship so much that you had like physical symptoms about it. Like I just heard you could have cried so hard that you were having like headaches or you felt sick to your stomach thinking about like what this person was doing, what they were up to. And I think because of that, part of you is still like very attracted to this person. Part of you wants to give them another chance. But then part of you also really has your walls up because the 9 of Wands is indicative of like defensiveness. And if you look behind the person on this card, they've made a wall around themselves with wands. So I am hearing that you want to be able to trust this person. You want to be able to trust them with your heart, but you don't know if you can anymore. And you have kind of this back and forth thing in your heart and with this person because of that. And why do you have this back and forth thing? Well, in the middle of your spread, we have this 2 of Pentacles. So what I'm hearing is that this person has 2 sides to them. And one of the sides is one that you really like. And then the other side is this other part of them that comes out sometimes. And it leaves you feeling confused about how they can have these 2 sides because they seem so in conflict with each other. And with the 2 of Pentacles in the middle of your spread, there's a sense of you having to like it's almost like giving you whiplash. Like you've had to juggle these 2 concepts you have about this person. And what are the 2 concepts? Well, we have the King of Cups and the 5 of Swords. So on one side, you see them as this King of Cups energy. They could be a Scorpio or have a prominent Scorpio placement on their chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or another water sign, Cancer, Pisces, but most strongly Scorpio. And this person sometimes is very sweet to you. They are very emotionally open. You feel like they're patient with you. You feel like they're kind of romantic. I can hear you have replayed moments with this person, like the moments that were really sweet that made you kind of fall for them or really like them. But then on the other hand, on the other side of this person, we have this Five of Swords energy, which is a card of betrayal. For some of you, this person cheated on you. For some of you, they were talking to other people. Maybe they didn't fully cheat, but they definitely had the intention of cheating. For some of you, they just ended up being really mean. Or maybe when you went out in public with this person, like when you were around their friends, they were really sweet to you. They were in this King of Cups energy. And then in private, they could be kind of mean. They could be really harsh with their words. And the Five of Swords is a card also of fighting battles that quite frankly aren't worth it. There's a pettiness to this card. It's like this person, sometimes they wanted to say or do the thing to you that they knew would hurt you the most. And you just don't know how to reconcile this, because on the one hand, there's this King of Cups where they seem really sweet. They seemed romantic. I just heard that for some of you, you had a really great first date. They were just amazing, and you were like, the chemistry's here. I really like this person. I could really see myself with this person. And then as they got more comfortable, they kind of fell into this Five of Swords energy where you just felt betrayed by them. And they were almost smug about it. They liked that they had the power to emotionally upset you because it meant that you were invested in them emotionally on some level. And the last card in your spread, the Seven of Cups, is kind of a reflection of all of these thoughts and feelings you have towards this person, because the Seven of Cups is a card of wishful thinking. It's a card of things being too good to be true. So in the traditional Rider-Waite Seven of Cups, all of the cups have something that is seemingly beautiful in them, but then there's something kind of lurking underneath the surface. In one of the cups, for this one, for example, we have a laurel wreath, which represents victory, but we also have a tornado, which represents destruction. So it's you could see all the potential in this person, especially when they were in this King of Cups energy. You could see how sweet and romantic and caring and affectionate and how, emotionally open they could be. But then it's you can't just take one cup. It's it came with all of these things that you weren't prepared for. And that is one of the reasons why it has been difficult for you, is because you see all the potentials of what this person could be to you, what this relationship could be, but you also are being forced to acknowledge that this person can be very hurtful and they're not the person you want them to be all the time. And that's difficult because you don't want to give up the good stuff, but you also don't feel like you should have to tolerate the bad stuff, and you shouldn't. And that's also coming through in your Romance Angels card. The first card we have says, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So I'm hearing that for a lot of you, you might have had a back and forth thing with this person. You could be off and on. It's time to free yourself. It's time to move on from this person. This person, I don't see anything here indicating that they are planning to change, that they're planning to grow as a person and treat you better, to work on these darker, shadowy aspects of themselves. And right now, you are the unicorn in this card. You are someone who is very special. You're one of a kind, and you're letting yourself be kept in the small little cage that you could easily jump over because you feel loyal to this person who, quite frankly, it doesn't seem like they feel loyal to you. And that's also coming through in the next card that Romance Angels gave, which says, pay attention to the red flags. It says the signs are cautioning you. I mean, exactly what it says. This person has a lot of red flags, and it can feel like it's easy to overlook those things when you're in the moment because, well, you think, well, they were really nice this one time. But it's always a pattern, isn't it? They're really nice to you for a little bit, and then they do something that's really mean, and then they like apologize and they try to make it up for you by kind of being like overly romantic or overly nice for a little bit. And then as soon as you let your guard down, as soon as you let these wands down that you have in the Nine of Wands, they go back into this Five of Swords energy. And something else that I'm hearing with this Two of Pentacles is that you having to juggle this, it's like walking on a tightrope. It's like walking on eggshells, I just heard. I really don't think that this relationship is good for you or your mental health at all. I don't think this is good for your emotional well-being. And that's also coming through in the archetype card that you chose, your pile marker, which says beggar. And it says confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival, awakens the spiritual authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. So what I'm hearing is, I just heard from the movie Midsummer. If you haven't seen that, I recommend it. There's a scene where Florence Pugh's character gets asked about her boyfriend who she's been with for a while, and she likes him because they kind of have the shared history, and he has been nice to her in the past, but he's just not there for her. He discounts her feelings, and someone asks, do you feel held by him? And I just heard that very strongly, that this person doesn't hold you. This person is not there to comfort you. This person, you might want them to be there. You might think that they have the capacity to be there. But at the end of the day, this person has shown repeatedly in their actions, in their words, that they are not as sensitive to your emotions as you are to theirs. And look at the imagery of this pile marker. This person is crying and covering their eyes. So I'm hearing two messages with this. One, that, like I said, you probably have cried so hard that it's given you a headache. I'm hearing that very strongly again. And second of all, you have to cover your eyes to be like comfortable with this person. You have to hide these things, these red flags from yourself in order to just see them as this King of Cups, and in order to only see the good parts of the Seven of Cups. And with the word on the archetype card being beggar, I'm hearing that a lot of the time you felt like you were begging this person to treat you well, to treat you with the same consideration that you have treated them. And it's not fair. It's not fair. So should you go back with your ex or go to the next? Absolutely 100% next. Do not go back to this person. It's not worth it. It's not good for you. You will be happier when you move on and when you are able to find someone who actually fulfills the things that you want in a relationship and is not trying to deceive you, not trying to hurt you, make you feel bad. So yeah, please take care of yourselves, be kind to yourselves, and please don't go back to this person. All right, my pile fours, that is it for your reading. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I put out a new video once a week. Thank you. Take care.